Hey, hi there. If you are watching this video, I have left the United States. Had you go in there for a second, didn't I? I've not left for good. I'm just out of the country for 10 days. And I have filmed ahead of time a whole bunch of videos, but I wanted to let you know that I will not be posting as often, and those pre-recorded videos will not in any way attempt to tackle breaking news because I have filmed them over the last couple of weeks. I tried to get information from folks on what they wanted me to talk about in regards to permaculture and in terms of social movements and parenting and what have you. And so I collected some of that feedback and I put together some videos that we'll be publishing here and on my side channel. I know I will get flack for going out of the country for 10 days. I'm taking my kid to her study abroad program, and then I will be coming back by myself. I am fully aware of the fact that I will probably have some culture shock because we've been living under a fascist government in the middle of authoritarian breakthrough, in the middle of a slow rolling coup for a year and a half. And okay, sorry, I had to take a break for a second. My eldest kid called me to bemoan the fact that our studio is not cooperating with her. If you know, you know. I can't really help her. She does far more advanced statistics than I ever had to do in college, and I never learned how to use our studio. So it's just, anyway, okay. So yeah, I think when I am over there, that there will likely be a significant level of culture shock. Like, so much oppression and like daily trauma has been normalized in the United States. I think it's going to feel pretty surreal to get a break from that. Yeah. Actually, let me amend that a little bit, because corruption is really rampant in the United States, and the regime has tried to push the Overton window far to the right. We are seeing white supremacists be far more emboldened, misogynists be far more emboldened. We're seeing more extreme behavior. I don't know that it's actually shifting the culture at all. I think it's actually activating people to resist and to dream for something different. We're seeing folks who are not allowing it to become normalized. What they're saying is, this is not normal. We don't actually have to settle for this. We don't actually have to accept this, and we deserve something far different. I actually think that a lot of awful things had been normalized in American culture for a really long time. Corporations exploiting all of us, believing that it was inevitable that we would have shitty healthcare from a for-profit system, believing it was inevitable that our elected officials would be bought and paid for by big corporations, accepting so many of the things that have been done to us as like, this is normal. And now we're in this period where it's like, holy shit, looking back, like all of these terrible things were happening under the surface. We just didn't recognize them because they were either hidden or because they were so normalized. And now we're seeing people say, actually reject this version of the United States. I actually reject all of this. I am not going to accept the narrative that this is what we deserve and this is what is inevitable and this is what has always been and will always be. I'm seeing people saying, we will not let this be normalized. We deserve something far different and far better, and we are going to work to bring about that different future. I think there is this momentum, there is this hopefulness, there is this determination, as I love to say, spiteful optimism that is operating in the American people right now. So I hope I come back from this trip and I have seen that build even more. I think it will be building even more every single day. The resistance is gaining momentum every single day. More and more people are becoming educated about what the oligarchy is doing, about the corruption in our government, about how APAC and corporations run our elected officials. And once people know, they cannot unknow. Once they learn, they cannot return to a state of ignorance. Knowledge is power, education is power, and then we have to work on organizing that power and leveraging it to create change. So please do me a favor and check out the videos that I am putting out over the next 10 days, and maybe think about going back and watching some of my old gardening videos, because when I get back from Europe, I'm going to really be pivoting hard into more permaculture design. I'll have a lot more gardening content. I'm going to be working in earnest on my Kickstarter project. I've had to make some changes to it, so more on that when I get back. And I'm really going to have most of my political content, like breaking news content, direct resistance skills content over on my side channel, which, by the way, thank you guys. In like less than 3 weeks, you've gotten me to 25,000 subscribers over there, which is just mind-boggling. My husband came out while I was filming earlier today, and I said, oh, I should move my 100,000 subscriber plaque out here and put it on the wall behind me. And he was like, maybe you'll have another one soon. And I was like, I'm never going to get to 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's like, no, on your side channel, you're already a quarter of the way to another 100,000 plaque. And I was like, oh, no, not that I particularly care about that, but like, I'm just so floored and humbled that I have any reach at all, that anybody cares to listen to like a middle-aged woman yap about whatever, fringe permaculture design and like unschooling and non-authoritarian parenting and my opinions on breaking issues, like mind-blowing still. Go back and watch some of my old gardening videos. You can see how things have changed in my garden, how I've changed as a person, and the kind of progression of my thoughts and the aging of my body, whatever. Okay, enjoy those videos. But I also want to talk here for a second. As long as I'm going out of the country, I get people asking me all the time, when is your family leaving? At what point do you guys just ditch out of the United States? And I said before the 2024 election, when people were really worried that Kamala Harris wasn't going to get elected. And of course, I was a little bit hopium back then, because I knew that unless we were pushing for a get out the vote movement, unless we were confident, like we have to vote for her, or the other option is Donald Trump and the dismantling of democracy, like we had to be kind of rah Kamala Harris. People in my comments were like, if Donald Trump wins, I'm fleeing the country. What's your plan if Donald Trump wins? Now, I have multiple friends who left the country in Donald Trump's first term, and I understand why. They were people who were immigrants to this country, and they felt that it wasn't safe to be a brown person here. It wasn't safe to be somebody who immigrated here and had an accent, right? And so I saw folks who left, who went to Spain, who went to Japan, who went to Thailand. I had friends who immigrated to Europe who were not originally from Europe, but they didn't feel that it was safe to be in the United States in Donald Trump's first term. And none of them came back during Joe Biden, by the way, because they all were like, none of the systemic issues have been solved, right? Especially as they watched Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice really fail to get justice for what happened in Donald Trump's failed insurrection, right? As they watched the lack of like serious reforms from the Democratic Party, they were like, this is not over. So why is on them? Why is on them to not come back to the United States? But people asked me ahead of the election, and they've asked me basically every month since, when is your family going to give up and leave? I am not fucking leaving. This is my home. I understand why other people would feel that they need to go somewhere else. I have trans friends who have needed to move to Canada. I understand all of that. I am not leaving. This is my home. This is our democracy. I am not leaving. I will stay and fight for it. Those of us with the most privilege, the most resources, the most education, we should be staying and lending our skills and our abilities to the resistance movement, to the defense of democracy, advocating for our neighbors, protecting our neighbors, engaging in that kind of activism and organizing work that will help us get out of this mess and build a better future. So I've been very critical, very critical of other white people who have left. There are a couple of big social media creators, highly educated, wealthy, huge resources that they could contribute toward the resistance. And instead, they got a little whiff of Donald Trump getting elected, and they're like, peace out, I'm going wherever, Belgium or wherever. They've gone to Europe. Those who are most vulnerable have the least ability to leave. Those who are most targeted by the regime have the least ability to relocate. It's very difficult to leave the United States if you are older, if you're disabled, if you have children. If you are not wealthy to begin with, it's extremely difficult to leave. I'm not abandoning my neighbors and my community. So I want to make that perfectly clear, because I get asked that all of the time. Especially not now, when the fascists are doing all their Hail Marys, when we've got them on their back foot and they're about to topple over. I'm not peacing out. I'm just taking my kid to her study abroad. I think it's really important for the youth to continue with their education. I think it's crucially important for us to have an educated populace with skills and the ability to not just think critically, but to understand history, to understand core concepts, to understand science. Like, we are looking at a brain drain in this country. We are looking at a regime that wants our young people to be uneducated. Donald Trump says he loves the uneducated. They're very easy to control. So I think one of the best acts of resistance that the youth can engage in is to focus on getting their education. I don't begrudge them when they don't come to protests. I don't begrudge them when they are focused on their studies. That is good and necessary investment. That is crucially important. And so I have encouraged my kids, get your degree. Keep focusing on your schoolwork. I know it might not feel like it's super important. You might not understand, why should I care about getting an education? The world is falling apart. No, that is a tremendous act of resistance. That is investing in a better future for yourself and also for this country. Right, when my kid is a Circuit Court of Appeals judge in 30 years, she and I and America will be glad that she focused on her education right now. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the next 10 days, and I'll be back.